Hi everybody, my name is Robin and welcome to my channel, Bird's Eye Stitches. Today is Sunday, December 29th, 2019, which means it is the very end of 2019 and 2020 is right around the corner. This is video number 1, which means that I am one of the groups of Flosstubers who is getting their Flosstube channel set up, getting ready to embark on a new journey in 2020. If I look a little familiar, it might be because I did used to have a Flosstube channel. It was called Thimble and Twine Stitches. It was up and running for a short period of time last year, and in my attempts to get it back up and going this year for 2020 or the coming year, I ran into all kinds of issues. You know, me and technology, we don't always get along, and I couldn't get the account to transfer. I was having issues with the name, and I thought, you know, it's a new year, it's a new channel. I'm just gonna say forget it and get a new name and a new launch, and that's where we're at. So my daughter and I, we did a little bit of brainstorming, and she actually came up with the name Bird's Eye Stitches. I fell in love with it right away and decided, okay, that's gonna be the name and this is gonna be the channel. So if you are here, then thank you so much for being here. Thanks for watching. I look forward to getting to know a lot of you and to following a lot of other Flosstubers who are getting started in 2020. Hopefully we can kind of cheer each other on and, you know, help each other out as we're all learning this journey together. For today, I am going to mainly focus on my plans for January. I know typically when you're starting a Flosstube channel, you go over all of your different whips and, you know, haul and stash and all of that stuff. But I've got so many plans for the month of January that it's going to involve touching a lot of old whips that I figured I could probably show you all the bulk of my whips in one video and have it be a little bit more structured if I go over it in a plan. So that's the idea. We're gonna see how it works. I'm filming on my phone today and I'm sitting on the world's tiniest chair. I don't know if you can really tell, but you know, with the holidays, we have a lot of family coming and going, which means all of my chairs are dispersed amongst my house. So I'm actually using a really old rocking chair that was handed down, you know, generations to generations, which sounds really nice, and it's kind of just a real old chair, but I'm only 5'2" and my legs barely fit under this thing. It's like less than a foot off the ground. So I'm feeling a little bit miniature. The table that I have all of my whips on is almost as tall as I am, so it might look a little funny, like I almost have to reach up to reach them, but that's okay. We're gonna see how this goes. So 2020, my main yearly goals are going to be to stitch from stash. I have a lot of stash. I've been stitching for probably 15 years on and off. I wish it was all the way through, but you know, I start again, I stop again, like the most of you. But quite a long time. And over that 15 years, you know, I've acquired quite a lot of stuff. So I really am trying to do some stitch from stash. I've given myself a budget every month. It was originally going to be $10. I bumped it up to $20 because it's 2020, and I thought $20, 2020 seemed like a good number, and it doubled the amount I had to spend, so, you know, bonus there. So Stitch from Stash, I'm going to be doing that. I purchased the 24 Hours of XStitch, the planner by Jen Lee, which I absolutely love. The way that she has it set out, it's actually going to be my main cross-stitch planner for the whole year. Even if I'm not participating in the monthly challenges that month, I'm still going to be using her planner to kind of jot down where I'm at in some of the other projects. So actually I have a planner right here. I'm sure the bulk of you have seen it by now, but looks like this. This is super shiny because I got it bound, like this here. But I'm going to use the January acrostic, which is a monthly challenge that's coming up obviously in January. I'm going to be using this as kind of my template for the month. The reason why I chose this, I mean, I may not be doing the acrostic all throughout the year, but for January, I chose this because it allowed me to get my hands on a lot of old whips. So this is the goal, to try to put a little bit of stitches, you know, at least 24 minutes, if not longer, on each one of the projects that are listed on this January acrostic. I will go through from top to bottom and show those to you here shortly. But beyond the 24 hours of cross stitch and the Stitch from Stash, the only other groups that I'm really a part of besides, Stitch Mania and a couple of those other, more social groups, is the School of Magical Stitches and Literature. I actually just joined that group, so I don't even know, what I'm being sorted into at this point. I know last year it had something to do with Harry Potter, but this coming year it's Disney themed, which is the whole reason that I joined. My daughter, she loves Disney. I enjoy Disney, and I thought if there's another group out there that has some fun challenges that are gonna allow me to get some more stitches in, then I should at least, give that a whirl. So we will see where I get placed for that one. All right, I guess we should just start at the top, and hopefully I'm not too choppy. Like I say, this is video number 1, so it's gonna take me a minute to kind of get back in the flow. Let's see. So for January, on the 24 hours of cross stitch, the acrostic is to spell out the ready, set, cross stitch with an exclamation point. I did the exclamation point. I said that was gonna mean a finish because I wasn't really sure what to put in there, but finishes are pretty exciting, so I'm gonna go with that. For the R, I decided to go with Cozy Critters, and the reason why I chose that is because I'm stitching with a really bright red DMC color. I think it's DMC 666. So here is what I will be working on for that. It looks like this. This is from Cross Stitch Crazy. I don't know which Cross Stitch Crazy. It's probably an old one though. Cross Stitch Crazy looks like this. I actually started this piece maybe last Christmas, I think. I didn't get very far. I think I only picked it up just to put a couple of stitches in, maybe for a challenge or something like that. But let's see, it goes like this. As you can see, I didn't get very far on this guy, but the idea is to put all 4 of these cozy critters on this one piece of fabric. The fabric that I'm stitching them on is an 18 count Aida. It's pewter, and it's a hand-dyed fabric by Stephanie. This guy here. I think if I sit here and try to fold and put each of these away, it's gonna be a 10-hour long video, so kind of put my OCD aside just a little bit there. So, all right, so that was R. E is gonna be Basket of Cherries. Basket of Cherries, I know a lot of you have seen this, but it is Blackbird Designs Garden Club Series number 1. Up there. This is where I'm at. I will go into more detail as far as, what fabric I'm stitching on and the threads as I make more progress on it throughout the month. But I think for today, I'm just gonna kind of show you where I'm at and what I'm going to be stitching on. So this is where I'm at. Don't have a whole lot done. It looks like I've got a little bit of the cherries and just a small amount of the bird here. But this was a really quick stitch, so hopefully I can get some good progress on that one, throughout this month. For the A on the word ready, this is an oldie. So for the A, I'm doing something called Love at First Sight. It's an old anchor kit. When I say old, I probably got this, gosh, at least 10 years ago, if not longer. So this is the kit. It's got these really cute frogs. Sorry about the glare, there's a window right there. The first amount of fun is gonna be figuring out where the heck I am, on that chart, because this is what I pulled out of the kit. Which way it goes, I don't know. It could go this way, could go this way. I don't know. I'm hoping that I used a highlighter or something to mark my progress. Like I said, this is such an old piece that I don't know what I was doing back then, or if I have to pull out any of these stitches. I don't know, but I really like the frogs, and my husband really likes frogs, and so I thought I should take that one back out and, show it some love. All right, so we have the R, the E, and the A. For D, I did Deck the Halls. This is actually gonna be a new start. I have a lot of whips, but of course I have to have at least a few new starts in there. I do have some plans to finish this one for next Christmas, so this one's going to be in the rotation for quite a while. This is Deck the Halls by Hinzite. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. It looks like this. And I say it's a new start, so I don't have a whole lot to show other than, looks like I've got some old gray fabric out of my stash I'm going to be stitching it on. It is kind of marbled. I will find the name of that for you once I actually put some stitches in. I think I have a piece of the, or you know, the tag floating around in the actual bag that I put it all in. For the Y, Y is New Year in the Village by Alessandra Adelaide. I started this probably 2 years ago now, and I keep saying that I want to finish it around New Year's. I'm nowhere near finishing this, but maybe 2020. The whole idea of 2020 is to get some finishes under my belt, so you know, fingers crossed, we will see. This is what it will eventually look like. This is what it looks like right now. So you can see a lot of the sparkle on this fabric is really coming through. This is a really nice opal fabric. I know it's a hand dyed by Stephanie, I think Storm. It looks like Storm, but again, I will look it up and see exactly what I was stitching on as I start to, you know, take out the bag that it goes in and really put, you know, put some stitches into it. Like many of you, I have been fighting catching the crud. My daughter was sick earlier in the week. Lots of other people have been sick all around me, so I am trying my best not to catch it. Knock on wood, so far so good, other than a really dry throat today. That's okay though. All right, so for the word set, the letter S, we have Magic Shoes. It's by Mill Hill. This is one that I just started last year. I think it was also part of a challenge. I needed something with a cat in it, and I'm actually not a huge cat person. I'm more of a dog person, so I didn't have a whole lot with cats in it, but I did have this old Mill Hill kit. So eventually it will look like this. For now, it looks like this. It is kind of funny because there's like this little happy cat face. It could be a cat, it could be a skeleton. It just kind of depends on how you're looking at it. But with the tail, I can definitely tell it is a cat. I'm just stitching this guy on the perforated paper that it came with. No idea what I'll do with it when it's done, but it's a pretty quick and easy stitch, and it's got a lot of really fun bright colors to it. Let's see, after that one we have E. For the E, I'm gonna be doing Hark by Erica Michaels. This one, I saw this one at my local L&S. It's the Attic Needlework. They had this one on display. Looks like this. And someone had stitched it. They had it displayed, and it was just gorgeous. I saw it. I ordered it up. Said, gotta have it. It looks like it's fairly simple. You know, would love to try to stitch that. So it came in, and I had absolutely no idea that it was going to be stitched on 40 count silk gauze. I have never stitched on silk gauze. I mean, I have never even stitched on 40 count linen. I mean, 38 count has been the highest I've ever done. That will change this year, I already know it, but for the most part, 40 count was pretty dang tiny, and it's over 1 on 40 count silk gauze. So here's where I'm at. Try to get there we go. So I have most of the word hark. I have the H, the A, and the R. Let's see if I can hold it to this side. There we go. This is super tiny. As I put some stitches in this, I'll take some photos with, you know, a dime or a penny next to it just so you can see how teeny tiny it is. But when this is finished, I'm really excited because it will be my first time ever stitching on something so small and so dainty. All right, where are we at? The T. T is gonna be Tribal Turtle. That is by White Willow Stitching. Looks like this. Although mine looks nothing like that. I did this one just trying to use stuff that I had on hand, so this looks like an old piece of some type of an Aida cloth. And it almost looks like an army turtle. Let's see, which way does this go? I don't know. Is that where we're at? That's where we're at. There we go, it goes this way. Okay, so hopefully, try to make this so you can actually see the colors going on. There we go. Yeah, this is more of an army turtle. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this guy either, but it's a super quick and easy stitch, and I really like turtles a lot. You know, my husband's really into frogs and turtles and all that stuff, and I really like the tribal design. I think when I pulled the floss that goes with this, in my mind it was gonna look a little bit different than how it's turning out. I mean, I was not expecting it to go so army-like. I think I might even have the floss here. Let's see. I do. So it's a DMC 4068. It looks like this. Try to get it out of the glare. Well, you can kind of, there we go. You can kind of see an idea. But see, it doesn't quite look so army-like when you hold it up this way, but when you stitch it, it's an army turtle. So nothing wrong with that, just I didn't think it was gonna turn out that way. That's the way it's going. I don't feel like starting it over, and I think when it's done, it's gonna look really nice. So, tribal turtle, white willow stitching. This is another kind of an oldie but goodie. Bought it years ago, never picked it up. So, getting that one worked on again. For the X, I didn't know what to do for the X, so I pulled out a chart that I just recently purchased. It's going to be a new start, and I think it's a French designer. The whole thing is in French, so I have no idea what it truly says, so I just threw it in for the X. It says, Mon, please forgive me, I do not speak French, Mon panier de sorcière. It will eventually look like this. This is the words. Okay. And because it's a French chart, all of the called for floss, my local LNS didn't carry any of it. They're all in French. Not showing the chart, don't worry. Let's see. It's this. So I didn't know what any of those were, so we consulted Google, and it did give me some conversions to the gentle art. So I'll be stitching this one mainly using the gentle art. I think I have 1 or 2 DMCs in there just because they didn't have the right colors in the gentle art, and I figured instead of waiting, I can just sub in with something that I already have. So I will show you more on that after I get some stitches put in, but I'm really excited just to see how it turns out. Plus, it's a designer that I've never stitched before, so that's always exciting for me. All right, we are almost there. For S, I'm going to be doing Scatter Kindness. It is also by Hinsight. It will eventually look like this. And I'm actually farther on this than I thought that I was. If I remember correctly, yes. So when I started stitching this one, I actually started stitching it upside down and backwards. I had the chart, and this S right here, I thought this was the beginning of it. I don't know why, for some reason, I looked at it, I really thought this was the beginning. So I'm just stitching away, and then I realized when I got to the E that I'm totally going backwards and upside down. I mean, it's really no big deal, because as long as you go in the same, the same way, you can stitch it upside down and backwards as long as you do it that way the entire time you're doing the words. So far so good, but here's where we're at. Blue is really interesting to try to get on this camera. Let's see. Oh, that's pretty true to color. It's kind of a bluish purple. And I don't have the name of it here, but I think I did write it down. So as I put more stitches and as we do future videos where I'm showing you my progress on these things, I'll have more information on the individual pieces. But since I'm showing, more than 10 all in one swoop, I didn't want to get them confused, and I didn't want to be chatting at you all for an hour on video number 1. So that is Scatter Kindness. I really, really love dandelions. Dandelions are my favorite flower. Some people say they're a weed, and I guess they kind of are. I think I probably have some in my front yard right now that our HOA is going to yell at us for, so I need to go get rid of those. But I really like dandelions. I like the yellow color whenever the flower comes, and of course I like to blow on the dandelion fluff, all those things you do when you're a little kid, still fun now. So anything that has the dandelions on there, I will usually be picking it up to try to stitch it and place it, somewhere in the house. I'm running out of room on this table, so I've resorted to the floor. Let's see. Last one that I have on here was the exclamation point. For that, I am hoping for a finish. This one I'm doing right now, I'm somewhat close, and it's a fairly easy design. It's called I Want to Leave, and I actually got this one off of Etsy. It's from Harp Seal Cross Stitch. Will look like this. I'm stitching it on just a piece of old scrap fabric, maybe a linen, probably a 28 or 32 count, really not positive, and I'm using DMC 310. So this is where I'm at. So as you can see, I'm fairly close. I have just the top words and the top of the spaceship to go. I did mess up a little bit. I will point that out as I get it finished. I noticed that I was stitching an extra row on the spaceship, and I didn't really like, there's this little heart here. My screen's so tiny I can't see where I'm pointing. So this little heart right here, I didn't really love. The idea for this is that when I'm done, it's gonna go at my desk, and the heart just seemed a little bit too cutesy for the rest of the piece. So when I noticed I was doing an extra line on the spaceship, I decided I'm just gonna go with it, and where the heart is, I'm just making that another line all the way across. So we will see how that turns out, but if I can get this one done, then it will be the first finish of 2020, and will be the exclamation point in the January acrostic of Ready, Set, Cross Stitch, exclamation point. That is about it. Like I said, I didn't really want to go into all of my whips. I think I have 16, and I have maybe three new starts slotted. That does include the 2 that I just showed you, maybe 4 new starts, because I do have one thing on order. So 3 or 4 new starts, but that brings my total up to 20 whips in 2020, which I actually did not even plan until I just said it right now. So 20 whips in 2020, and the goal is to finish, at least 4 of those, if not more. Quite a few of them should be doable, within a month, 30 days of stitching on one, and it should be wrapped up. So we'll see how that goes. Other goals would be to find a stitch along. I know there's quite a few of them out there. I honestly just haven't had the time to really take a look at them and see which patterns were calling my name and which things, were something that I already had on hand, so that way I would only have to buy the pattern, since I am trying to do the stitch from stash. Or, maybe there's even a stitch along with something I already have. I need to go and watch some videos and see what's out there and just pick 1 or 2. I know if I'm stitching with other people, then, I'm a lot more likely to stick with that one project. Beyond that, it's just gonna be putting up, some videos probably every 2 weeks. I don't know that I'm gonna have enough to show you all. If I do a weekly video, it's just gonna be a lot of me rambling, and, that could get entertaining or not. So every 2 weeks, I think, is gonna be a good time. Beyond that, thank you for watching this first video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully you'll stick around, and I look forward to talking with you all in a couple weeks. So Happy stitching and Happy New Year. Bye.